The drama surrounding Shedeur Sanders' sudden leap from Cleveland to the bright lights of Las Vegas feels less like a standard NFL transaction and more like a seismic cultural event. The Las Vegas Raiders didn't just sign a quarterback, they detonated every conventional record in their path, shaking the league's financial foundations and rewriting what a franchise can do when it refuses to settle for mediocrity. $80 million guaranteed over 4 years with incentives that could push the total near the $100 million mark is more than a contract. It's a declaration of war on the status quo. In a single stunning move, the Raiders turned a summer of speculation into a spectacle that silenced pundits and sent social media into a frenzy. Within hours of the first whispers, Twitter servers were gasping under the strain, TikTok creators scrambled to upload their breathless reactions, and Instagram stories pulsed with disbelief. The shockwaves didn't merely ripple, they roared, echoing across the entire landscape of professional football. Behind the scenes, the plot played out like a high-stakes thriller. Raiders owner Mark Davis personally boarded a jet and met Sanders at a secret location late Tuesday evening. There were no agents, no cameras, no staged photo ops, just the owner and the quarterback in a private 4-hour summit that would alter the future of 2 franchises. One insider described the pivotal moment when Davis leaned across the table, looked Sanders dead in the eye and said, "We're not just signing a quarterback. We're investing in the future of this franchise. Name your price." Sanders, stunned, asked for a day to consider. He got half that. By dawn Wednesday, the Raiders' front office was already in motion, drafting press releases, firing up the printers for new jerseys, and orchestrating a media rollout with the precision of a military operation. The urgency wasn't desperation. It was clarity. They knew exactly what they wanted and exactly how little time they had to keep other suitors from swooping in. This audacious courtship didn't materialize overnight. It was the endgame of months of covert maneuvering that began when cracks in Cleveland's foundation first showed. Raiders scouts had quietly infiltrated every Browns training camp session, officially there to watch other prospects but secretly laser-focused on one target. They dissected Sanders' every movement, the way his footwork stayed sharp under pressure, the way teammates responded to his huddle command, the way he absorbed criticism without flinching. They came away convinced they were looking at a generational talent trapped in a dysfunctional environment, and more importantly, undervalued because of it. When opportunity knocked, Las Vegas didn't hesitate. For Cleveland, the implosion was swift and brutal. 2 hours before Davis and Sanders even sat down, Browns general manager Andrew Berry got the call from Sanders' representatives. Their quarterback was walking away. Berry's desperate counteroffers, immediate reinstatement, guaranteed starting job, a fresh contract, were too little and far too late. Inside the building, panic spread like wildfire. Head coach Kevin Stefanski reportedly sat in stunned silence. Owner Jimmy Haslam erupted in anger. Longtime executives looked as if they'd seen a ghost. By nightfall, hashtags like #BrownsCollapse and #FireStefanski were trending nationwide. One viral tweet captured the raw fury of the fan base. "We had the next Patrick Mahomes and gave him away because our coach couldn't handle training camp drama. I'm done with this franchise forever." Local sports radio lines jammed with irate callers. Season ticket holders publicly vowed to cancel their seats. This wasn't just a personnel loss, it was a collapse of trust, a reputational wound that may scar the franchise for years. Las Vegas, meanwhile, erupted in celebration. Overnight, the Raiders' season ticket waiting list swelled by 15,000 names. Jersey pre-orders surged past the previous year's total in a matter of hours. Sports bars began booking viewing parties for Sanders' eventual debut. A grinning superfan summed up the city's mood for local reporters. "This is our Joe Montana moment. Our franchise quarterback finally arrived. Shedeur Sanders in silver and black, it doesn't get more perfect than this." The implications for the league are staggering. With Sanders now set to face Patrick Mahomes twice a year and inevitable comparisons to Justin Herbert, the AFC West instantly becomes the most compelling division in football. Defensive coordinators are already rethinking game plans to contain Sanders' mobility and deep ball accuracy, while the Raiders' offense transforms overnight into a multidimensional threat. More than just a star on the field, Sanders gives Las Vegas the charismatic face the franchise has craved since its relocation, a marketable leader with the skills and pedigree to turn every Sunday into a spectacle. For Cleveland, the fallout is catastrophic. Dillon Gabriel may be the presumptive starter, but the psychological damage lingers. Veterans are questioning leadership. Free agents will remember how this saga unfolded. The Browns, once holding lightning in a bottle, poured it out and now face a credibility crisis that could haunt their recruiting efforts for years. Inside their locker room, whispers of discontent grow louder. Emergency meetings have been called. Reports of players seeking private audiences with coaches underscore the atmosphere of mistrust. What began as a minor disciplinary issue has metastasized into a full-blown organizational breakdown. Around the NFL, analysts are still processing the shock. ESPN's Adam Schefter likened the move to Russell Wilson's stunning trade to Denver. Ian Rappaport called it unlike anything I've covered in 15 years. And former tight end Shannon Sharpe delivered the most biting commentary of all. The Browns had lightning in a bottle and poured it out because they couldn't handle a little thunder. Meanwhile, Mark Davis and the Raiders just stole the future of the AFC. Beneath it all, the quiet influence of Coach Prime Deion Sanders cannot be ignored. Though he maintained public silence, sources say he was deeply involved, counseling his son on fit, marketability, and long-term trajectory. Greatness requires great organizations, he reportedly told Shedeur. Cleveland showed they weren't ready for what you bring. Vegas is hungry. This wasn't merely a father's advice, it was the calculated guidance of a man who understands both the business and the spectacle of professional sports. His fingerprints are all over this move, turning it into a masterclass in strategic career planning. The ripple effects go well beyond Las Vegas. Rookie quarterbacks across the league will now demand guarantees once reserved for proven veterans. Agents will cite Sanders' deal as the new benchmark. One anonymous AFC executive admitted, "This changes everything. If unproven rookies start commanding this type of guaranteed money, the salary cap gets a whole lot harder to manage." And the timing for Vegas could not be better. A new practice facility is about to open, local media had been starved for a headline, and season ticket sales needed a jolt. Sanders delivered all of that in one audacious signing. Now comes the pressure. Sanders will report to the Raiders facility Monday morning for his physical playbook installation, and a press conference expected to draw national attention and a circus of cameras. But after the flashbulbs fade, he'll need to master a complex new offense, develop chemistry with unfamiliar receivers, and establish his voice in a veteran locker room, all while the weight of the franchise and the expectations of an entire city rest squarely on his shoulders. Teammates are already feeling the shift. "We knew something big was happening when coaches started smiling again," one player confided. "Having a franchise quarterback changes everything: how you practice, how you approach each game. Everything." And still, the drama continues to unfold. Patrick Mahomes himself reportedly welcomed Sanders to the division with a message carrying a subtle edge: "Welcome to the big leagues, Rook. Hope you're ready for what's coming twice a year." Justin Herbert's camp, according to whispers, expressed surprise at the Raiders' aggressive pursuit, wondering if the Chargers should have acted sooner. The AFC West, already a gauntlet, now becomes must-watch television every week. Even beyond football, the shockwaves reach into college recruiting and the business of sports. High school quarterbacks and their families are taking note. Talent alone isn't enough, organizational fit and stability matter. Deion Sanders' success guiding his son into a blockbuster NFL opportunity validates his approach to preparing players for the next level. Meanwhile, Las Vegas sportsbooks moved quickly, slashing the Raiders' Super Bowl odds and seeing a 400% spike in action on season win totals. Nike is reportedly fast-tracking a Raiders-themed Sanders merchandise line. Local businesses are scrambling to sign endorsement deals before the market for his name and face becomes prohibitively expensive. In Cleveland, the finger-pointing continues. Reports describe emergency meetings devolving into chaos as owners, coaches, and executives argue over who is to blame. The dysfunction that drove Sanders away has only deepened. For the Browns, this isn't just a lost player, it's an existential crisis, a warning to every franchise about the cost of complacency and the consequences of mishandling generational talent. For Shedeur Sanders, this is vindication. He weathered suspension, criticism, and instability without losing faith in his ability or his worth. The Raiders recognized those qualities and paid accordingly. His story is now more than an NFL headline, it's a blueprint for a new era of athlete empowerment. Players will remember how he demanded respect, waited for the right opportunity, and proved that even rookies can command veteran-level commitments when they bring rare talent and unshakable resolve. The 2024 season hasn't yet begun, but the narrative is already written. The Raiders have thrown down a gauntlet that will reshape the NFL's competitive balance and financial landscape for years to come. The Browns, left reeling, serve as a cautionary tale. And the league as a whole has been put on notice. The age of passive franchise building is over. Las Vegas has their quarterback. The rest of the NFL had better be ready.